Hi, today I want to tell you about the funniest class that I took in high school. The class was called Home Economics, but a lot of people just said Home Ec. Home Ec was an elective class. An elective class is a class that you usually take for fun or because you have a specific interest in the subject. An elective class isn't required to graduate. Some other examples of elective classes at my school were welding, art, choir, video production, things like that. They're usually classes that not everyone takes. You only take electives if you're interested in that subject. Otherwise, you usually can use that period of time to study or to do your homework. I can talk a little bit about the way that our school system worked in high school in a different video so that you can understand a little better. But for now, I want to tell you why home economics was the funniest class I ever took. Home economics was a class where you learned how to do things to run a household. For example, they taught a little bit about how to manage your money. They taught a little bit about how to take care of a baby. But mostly in my home economics class, they taught you how to sew and how to cook. And the cooking part was so funny because I was very bad at it. In my home economics class were two boys that were my friends. One boy I had a crush on. I liked this boy. Let's call him Joe. And the other boy had a crush. The other boy liked me. Let's call him Ryan. Every day in home economics, I would try to talk to Joe, and Ryan would try to talk to me. And so, whenever there was a group project, Ryan, Joe, and me always worked together to bake or cook whatever the recipe of the day was. The recipes were simple, but we always messed them up somehow. For example, when we made pizza, we added way too much flour to our dough. We added way too much flour to the base of the pizza. And so the crust of the pizza, the bread part, was very thick. way too thick. Another recipe that we tried to make is a dessert called Baked Alaska. Baked Alaska is a dessert that has ice cream in it. And you usually use fire to make the caramelized portion of the dessert. But I had the dumb idea to leave the ice cream sitting out on the counter so we could scoop the ice cream better. But when we scooped the ice cream and set it on top of the dessert, because we also had to use fire to caramelize the caramel portion of our dessert, basically everything melted. Everything was a puddle. It was a mess. I laughed so hard that a teacher from another classroom walked into my classroom because she thought I was crying and that I needed help. But I wasn't crying. I was laughing because of how much of a disaster our dessert was. Another thing we made that didn't turn out was lemon meringue pie. Lemon meringue pie is a dessert made with lemons, and it's supposed to have a crust filled with lemon filling. The filling is supposed to be a little bit dense, not runny, not a liquid. But our lemon meringue pie was a soup. It was all liquid. It was so funny. I don't know how I managed to pass home ec. I don't understand how I got a good grade in that class, because everything we made was terrible. Also, later that year, the boy I liked went to the dance with another girl, and the boy that liked me went to the dance with me. But when we returned to home ec the next day, we all felt awkward because we knew who liked each other. It was ridiculous. Anyways, that's my story about home ec and why it was so funny, because I did so badly in that class, and there was so much sexual tension between my group, so much pent up teenage energy. Ridiculous.